There we go.
All right, now it's official. Welcome, everybody. So, thanks for coming tonight. It's definitely been an interesting weekend here for everybody. So, we appreciate you taking the time to come out tonight and help Roy and I get this thing launched that we've literally been working on for 20 years, maybe we're pushing 25 years at
I
this
think so.
point.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, this is obviously, we see a lot of repeat faces, a lot of people supporting us on these different Kickstarters. I mean, this has been a busy year between, ours and our friend Jesse, so we just want to say thank you for all your support. And, we know it's a commitment each time, but we try to like back all these up by the fact that we have all these done, before we take them to Kickstarter, and hopefully build some confidence going forward, not just with our friends and family who always support us, but the strangers who have bought our books as well. So um but I'm gonna turn it over to my lovely wife so she can tell you
Oh, who's that?
what we're gonna what we're gonna do tonight to win cool stuff.
Oh, well,
Your name is Sarah Child, did you forget? I'm Joe if I didn't say it.
hey, Joe, I'm Roy.
Yeah, this is Roy.
My name's in the corner, so
Yeah.
it'll be okay. Um, so Joe and Roy are mainly going to be talking about the history of the comic and the Kickstarter page, and they're going to be dropping a lot of lovely info. So basically, have your listening ears on because there's going to be a trivia at the end. And then the top three places in the trivia will win some swag, which we will show you a picture of right before we get to that contest there at the end.
All right. So Roy and I are going to start off by just kind of giving a little bit of history of the project. We like we mentioned earlier, we've been working on this for literally almost 25 years, and that's not an exaggeration. I mean, we met in college, and a couple of years after, we just recently talked about this on another podcast that it was actually the night before September 11th that we were working on this idea. And the reason I always remember that is because we stayed up late working on it, and I slept through my class the next day. And I remember my grandmother called me, waking me up, asking, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I just slept in. What's going on?" And so, needless to say, after we had this great night of brainstorming and putting this story together, obviously, life took a different turn, and our focus was elsewhere for the next few, weeks and months, and even years after that. But we never lost the passion for telling this story. Basically, Roy asked me that night, like what would it really be like if one of us, amongst our friends, if one of us got superpowers? And we realize, especially now after all these years of Marvel movies and DC movies and all the other comic book movies, that's not a unique question anymore. I mean, it wasn't really back then, but it still felt fresh to us. Like, okay, we could have fun telling this story about a guy, and he's got a couple best friends who modeled after some of our friends, and how they would really react to where it was they'd be totally behind us, and they would want to be backing us the whole way through, and prompting us, yeah, try out the powers, you be
Mhm.
the new hero in this town. Like, that's the way that we would actually react if that happened to us. And so at the time we came up with this title, we called it Average Joe, a Casual Hero. And Joe is essentially an amalgamation of both Roy and I. And he's a big nerd. He loves comics and pop culture, and you know
Toys.
yeah, yeah. Uh, I mean, honestly, in the story, really, the only reason Joe's wall doesn't look like Roy's is because Joe doesn't have money.
And Roy doesn't want to draw every single one of those toys.
Yeah, yeah. But his best friends in the story are Pete and Jerry, which are based on a couple of Roy's friends from high school. Like I said, I met them in college, and it was just it was like, what do we write about? And Roy came up with this interesting aspect of, he was like, well, what if Joe's actual kryptonite is his girlfriend? and that was when it kind of became, more comedic and more like a rom-com, in the sense that, like, every time he's around his girlfriend named Val, he just loses his powers inexplicably. And that was also the funny thing, is that for years we kept going back to, well, we like that idea, but we never had the explanation of why it happens. And it was always like, well, let's just keep writing it. The answer will come. We just didn't know that it would take so long for that
Yeah.
answer to come around. But back then it was mainly focused on them, like we said, and the story, went through a lot of different iterations. We tried to do a web comic, because this is early 2000s and web comics were pretty big and up and coming at that time. We did try to look at a comic book, but back then, we didn't really have much guidance in how to actually do it. And so, and even at one point, I wrote some animation scripts for it, just because I wanted to try my hand at that to see how. And right before I did that, though, Roy actually added an aspect to the story that really started changing it around. And I'm going to let Roy talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of influences in the book itself and the characters. Not only our friends, but Joe and I, like he said, we're huge nerds. We love pop culture. We love cartoons, anime, toys, everything under the sun that's now geek culture. And so we wanted to really put that into this book, into these characters, because they say write what you love. We knew that stuff. We're from that that circle, so we wanted to really incorporate that into this so people could relate to it, especially more people like us, especially now. It's become like the zeitgeist. It's the thing. I mean, San Diego Comic-Con, you got all these, conventions every year. It's just more acceptable, and it wasn't so much then, but now it just really seems to have paid off. And what Joe was alluding to was one of the aspects that kind of came later was actually it was inspired by Sleepy Hollow, the series that was on Fox back in I think 2017 or maybe further back. And what I liked about it is it introduced new monsters, basically like a monster of the week, almost like the old Saturday morning cartoons like Scooby Doo's and stuff like that, where you had a monster every week that they would battle, and it just made it fresh and fun. And I've always been really interested in that kind of aspect, like the supernatural, the unknown, aliens, Bigfoot, all that kind of stuff. And so, eventually it just kind of made sense. Like, how do we make this, a part of this book? And Joe had a really great idea when we changed it from uh, Average Joe to How to Hunt a Hero. We actually turned it on its head and made the story about the villain. Let's show it from her perspective. And once we did that, combined with all these little things that we've been kind of putting together over the years, it just clicked, and it was like, okay, this is why we took so long. It was something that it's a labor of love. We went back and forth on it. Like he said, we tried doing different things. We tried Sunday morning comic strips. We tried what was it, Zulu or something like that. Different like online comics, different formats, but it never quite gelled. And then come the pandemic, we're there, and we're tossing ideas back and forth again, and we've come so far from hand drawn, old school comic books, because I'm the artist in the book, Joe's the writer, where we co-wrote it, but it was my responsibility, basically my task, to draw this, and we finally got to a point where technology caught up, and now we can do this book. We can basically do everything for me on my iPad, and Joe researched, did all the work, and found out about our printing company that we're using, all that side of it, and it just all clicked. It all meshed. But yeah, the Sleepy Hollow aspect, I love that. I was like, let's do monsters. I want the character, to hunt monsters, and that's kind of how we found, you know, why does Joe lose his powers, and why does this all happen? And you'll get to read about that in the book. I'll hand it back to Joe.
Yeah. So yeah, like Roy said, it really did change the course of the book and kind of gave it a new life. And now we had this character Ava, who is focused on hunting these cryptids, and Roy gets to not only have fun drawing and creating the cryptids, but Ava uses these armors and stuff to go after them, and so he gets to draw a new one every time he goes after one of them. So what we got next? The video for the Kickstarter?
Yeah, we're gonna do the
Okay.
Kickstarter video for the
Yeah,
Kickstarter.
so we're gonna show you the little video that actually we've been sitting on this video for a couple of years. It took like 2 or 3 years probably. We have shared part of it before. Our friend Cheyenne, she did the voiceover for this for us a couple of years ago. So I modified it for the Kickstarter, and kind of just gives you the overview of the story, and at the end it'll show you some of the a quick shot of the covers, but we'll go over that more slowly after the video.
What happens when a villain doesn't have a hero to fight? She makes one. This is the story of Avarice Greedy, daughter to the CEO of the Greedy Corporation. Child genius from an early age, and self-proclaimed cryptid hunter. She has spent the majority of her young life hunting and collecting creatures of legend, but soon she found that she had no more cryptids to hunt. That's when she set her sights on her longtime crush, Joe. But there was one problem. He was already taken. So she devised a plan to win his heart once and for all. Catering to Joe's love of comics, she secretly infused him with the powers of all her captured cryptids. And now, she plots and schemes in the shadows, waiting for the day when she can reveal to Joe that it was she who made all his dreams come true. And that together, they would be unstoppable.
Woohoo! Actually, I haven't seen that one yet.
No, like I said, I modified the end, not modified it. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go through the Kickstarter here. It's not live yet, but just to kind of give you a little sneak peek. So Roy and Jesse put together this fun little intro by Ava, breaking the fourth wall, talking to the audience, says, "Hey there, loser," which I told Roy is going to make all the people leave the Kickstarter because we're calling them losers.
Yeah, we're saying the character. We're saying the character.
Yeah, no, that's definitely her character, and thanks to our friend Jesse for making this Kickstarter nice and pretty.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Jesse. Outstanding job. Looks amazing.
Yeah, the little animation there, the twinkle in the
Mhm.
helmet. So but yeah, this was what the question turned into after we were always talking about what would you do if you got the powers. Well, what would you do if somebody gave you superpowers against your will? Because that's essentially what she does. And so it kind of creates this moral dilemma of she knew that he wanted those powers. There's no denying that. But, she didn't ask his permission. So that's the kind of the aspect of this story that we thought a lot of people, when we tell them that, they find that very interesting. And it's obviously ripe with drama, and like we said, this is more of a more like a rom-com. It's an action comedy basically, but there's a little drama when it comes to the fact that you have the love triangle with Ava, Joe, and Val. But yeah, just going to take you through here. Another great animation there by Jesse, showing Ava going against Bigfoot.
Yeah, and one of the fun things to do with this is that I really got to have fun, which I told Joe when I saw, Sleepy Hollow and I saw the aspect of the fighting the cryptids, I was like, yeah, I just want to do scenes where Ava's just beating the crap out of these characters, just having fun. And then also, like you mentioned, designing their armors. A lot of her armor designs you're going to see are kind of nods to all the stuff that we grew up with. One of her main ones you'll see, like in this one, there's a little bit of Shredder in there, a little bit of Darth Vader, a little bit of Iron Man, different aspects that we wanted to include to just kind of a thank you, a love letter, and just a nod to all those, all those people all those creators that helped us kind of get here to this point today. So you'll see it'll change. Like I said, she has to get like more robust armor if she's fighting something bigger. She doesn't always win every time. She'll lose a fight or two and have to kind of go back to the drawing board and come up with something new, something better to fight the cryptids. You'll see more of that as we go.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, you get to see her fight with Bigfoot here. And if some of you picked up our Child's Play Comics number 0, you got to see a little bit of this fight already. But we got a colorist to recolor these, so you're getting a new paint job basically.
Yeah, Sky Wynn did an amazing job on these colors.
Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely show off some more of the team here towards the end, but basically these are just some of the preview pages that yes, Roy of course did the pencils. Um, we had Hannah do the flats, and Jeff, also known as Skywin, he did the colors, and then I know Roy added a lot of these effects and stuff. Here you get to see Joe and Val, so with Ava there in the background hidden. And yeah, there's a lot of nods. It's so funny that I told Roy this is one of my favorite series of panels, even though he says it's not his. But to me, this just captures the essence of the books of Joe, first discovering his powers and then putting it together that, is this really happening? You see his comic books there on the ground.
If you look closely, you can see all the little monitos, the little figures, action figures in the background.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's not as far as I took that, because if I try to do this, what I have, I'd be here all night.
They're also out of the box. I just realized that.
Yep, yep.
That's heresy.
He's a real collector.
But here you get a glance of, well, we saw a little bit of them earlier, but here's Pete and Jerry, his best friends, and Roy was talking about some of the nods you'll see to the 80s. Jerry's car has got the Ninja Turtles color scheme, which I think is awesome. And get to see a little bit of Joe's powers there with the eye lasers. Of course, this is exactly what we would do if one of us got powers, is like, let's just go out in the middle of nowhere and just test them,
Yeah. And
So,
well, I was going to say, one of the things like with this is the inspiration for the characters. They were definitely based on one of our close friends who unfortunately is no longer with us, Jerry. That's Pete right here. And Jerry, Pete and Jerry. And there's also influence for me when I was doing these characters, and when I think about them, a lot of it also comes from a Goofy movie. I know they're celebrating an anniversary year, so I thought this was perfect that we're doing this. And a matter of fact, one of the covers is heavily inspired by that. But the relationship they had, I really wanted that kind of just the friendship they had in that movie between, was it PJ and Max and I forget the Cheddar guy's name right now, but it was kind of that dynamic that really kind of made these characters come to life. And I think even on their own, like when we originally wrote it, they had a lot of adventures that I want to hopefully share just in maybe the back of one of these books one of these days, or if we put out like a kind of a, I don't know what you call it, a Bible of it, if you will, just showing more of that, of the relationship that the three characters had. We really wanted to bring that so that you felt that connection, and maybe you could even see yourself in one of these roles, hopefully as one of the good guys, but hey, not judging if you see Ava in yourself, because she's pretty cool.
yeah. So speaking of the covers, so we're going to go over the rewards here real quick. So we always start off with just the digital tiers. A simple $5 will get you both How to Hunt a Hero #1 with cover A, and then 0, which actually it says it here in a second, but every tier comes with a copy of 0, whether it be digital or physical. If you want still to stay digital and you want to keep a copy of all the covers, you can do the digital deluxe tier. Oops, sorry, I'm gonna let somebody else in real
Just
quick.
talk.
Yeah, so after this is where we begin the physical tiers. And so we're gonna start with cover A, which is an amazing cover by Roy. Do you want to share the inspiration behind this, or is
Yeah,
that
yeah, mine. So yeah, so this was actually a statue based on a statue of Superman fighting all his enemies, his basically his rogues gallery, and it just, man, when I saw it, I wanted something really dynamic, something really fun, and it just captured that what I was looking for. It just hit me, and I was like, this would be really cool. So yeah, this was definitely inspired by that statue. I won't hide that. Matter of fact, I wish I knew who the sculptor was so I could credit them. But yeah, I just looked at it. I just started drawing it like overnight. Did all this and then sent it to Jeff to color. And I was just like, okay, just make it look, as my friend would say, make it look like death. Make it look really cool and dynamic. Kind of if you can match, what I'm trying to pull off here. And he did an outstanding job.
Yeah, and it acts as a nice little tease to a lot of the cryptids, which you won't see in the issue yet, but they'll come down the line. Then cover B actually comes to us from Terry Parr,
Amazing
who's
art.
yeah, really great artist. He's from the Dallas area. Um, I think we've all kind of known him in one respect or another in different capacity, but I think this past couple of years when we really got to know him and talk to him and um, he did the pencil work here for Ava, and then Roy colored it, and so just another. It's cool to see another artist's rendition of your characters. I personally never get tired of that.
Yeah, I
And
was very happy when he said yes to he would do it, and I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. So really excited to have this as part of our selection of covers. And if you like his work, check out more of his stuff. He's got some amazing books out there, and his artwork. He's always at conventions. Check him out, follow him, and give him a like and all that. Man, he deserves all the praise. He's amazing.
then speaking of the Goofy movie,
Yeah,
this next one, cover C, is by Roy. And you can obviously see the homage to the Bigfoot from the Goofy movie. So with his foot coming right at the audience.
his big foot.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
He's here all month, ladies and gentlemen. Back as Kickstarter.
Hashtag.
And and then Roy also did this cover with Ava, which I don't know that we mentioned it, but the blue, especially in the earlier image, and also you see it here in Zero, is when she goes into stealth mode. So I thought it was cool that you went ahead and just did it all like that with
Yeah.
all the cryptid hands around her. So is that kind of what you were going for with that one, or?
Yeah, again, it was kind of a nod to Scooby Doo, or just it just reminded me of something like that, and it was kind of funny. The history on the blue was actually an accident. I was coloring one of the pieces, and I just accidentally went over the line, and the blue hit the red, or because she's normally in red or black, and it just changed everything blue. And when it did, it was just like, oh my god, I love this, and it just clicked, and I really like how it worked. And Joe, being Joe, figured it out, and he was like, oh well, this is stealth mode, and like this looks really cool, and I got positive feedback on it, and we just kind of ran with it. She still had already had stealth mode, but it wasn't really established as to what it was going to look like. I kind of played around with the look of it, but ultimately this turned out, this happy accident turned out, and now I can't get away from it. I absolutely love it. So yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely created that defining look.
yeah.
And then this one is actually a cover that we've used on Child's Play Comics number 0. And on that version of it, so this is actually from artist Eddie Nunez, who he came up through Wildstorm Comics through DC Comics. So he's an awesome professional. He's there in Austin. Roy uh, made a great connection with him and was able to get this rendition of Ava in his style, and which is like, this is somebody that I know we both grew up, following his work. And so for a professional artist like him who's worked for like DC and whatnot to do one of our characters is just awesome. And like I said, we used it once before. Our friend Jesse had colored a cover for us. This is actually the raw version of what Eddie did, and then Jesse came uh, over it, and he actually fixed it up to where this is going to be our very first hollow foil cover that we're going to offer. And so he's showing it what it's going to look like here. It's just got a really cool effect. He did a lot of work. Jesse did a lot of work trying to make sure that the parts of the image that Eddie did will stand out with the foil. So again, kudos to our friend Jesse for putting this one together.
Yeah, absolutely. The shiny cover, and that number 0 actually is by Jesse as well. The one that you're going to get with everything. Yeah, he designed not only the new logo for How to Hunt a Hero, but also that cover right there. And he's done a lot of work. So I can't thank him enough for everything he's done to really polish this project up for us. But yeah, getting to Eddie Nunez, yeah, he's absolutely amazing. He's done work for Netflix. If you've ever watched Masters of the Universe, he's done that one. He's had a ton of Kickstarter projects, and he's a huge inspiration. When I look at his work, I can't help but just like start drawing. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is just awesome. Just kickstarts it in no pun intended, but just kickstarts the wheels, and like, I aspire to be this good one day. Like he is absolutely amazing. And it was a huge honor to get him to work on this book. And yeah, Jesse did an amazing job. Excited about the foil cover too. This is gonna be a really cool foil cover. We got to see a little test of this, of what it looks like. And I can't wait to see this in person.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then for everybody who likes we try to always do these what I call the all the swag tiers to where basically you can get one of each cover, and then on top of that you can get some exclusive swag. We've got a How to Hunt a Hero magnet. We got 4 different kinds of stickers, and you do get a little bit of a discount on top of that. So always like offering this tier in any of our Kickstarters. Like I mentioned before, every tier is going to get a copy of How to Hunt a Hero number 0. This is actually the new cover for 2025. Like Roy mentioned, Jesse put together the background, and then of course Roy did Ava and her armor. And so there's a cool homage to the 80s. I call it the Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, so with the stretch goals, we're going to start off simple with these. We're just asking for 300. That's usually what we stick to at our Kickstarters. Again, because we always bring them complete. We're essentially just asking for printing costs, and everything after that is just gravy for us. If we reach 500, all physical backers will get an exclusive trading card. This is actually one that was a postcard in one of our prior Kickstarters, but Roy reformatted it here. And did you recolor it?
Yeah, I recolored it. I actually updated Val's look and changed some things on it. So it is a different card in essence, but you will get it like in a trading card format, which is really cool. I really like those. I'm seeing that a lot more like in pretty much a lot of the campaigns, as well as even like some of the toys I collect. They come with trading cards now, and there's something really cool about just, I don't know, just having a trading card. So I really like this as a stretch goal.
Yeah, and then if we reach 1,000, Roy was talking about, how he gets to play with the armor and the different looks. You actually get this one, which I know Roy is a big Halloween person to begin with, and this one you titled Summerween, right?
Yes, this is summer week.
Yeah, so you got the pumpkin color scheme there, and so that'll make a really cool variation to the pose and the armor that you'll see elsewhere in the campaign. So I'm gonna kind of speed through the add-ons a little bit because there's a lot of stuff here that's just repeat. We always make it to where you can always buy more of the covers. Um, we did sell some pins in our last Kickstarter that did really well, and we also carry these at our convention. So we have the one here of Ava and her armor. Um, and so that you can do as an add-on. We also had our previous Kickstarter, Malia Mayhem. If you missed out on that, we basically are offering anything that was in that Kickstarter as an add-on here: stickers, all the covers, blank sketch cover, the pin. And then this one is the first time we're offering this newer version of Child's Play Comics #0. This was the one that we did originally in 2023, first one on Kickstarter. Since then, we've done a lot of different things to improve the content that we put out there. So we wanted to do a little bit more streamlined. This is also something we'll carry going forward for people who just want a sampling of everything we do. So in this new version, you'll get a copy of Malia Mayhem #0, How to Do #0. And then you will also get, speaking of our friend Jesse, who we mentioned several times tonight, his books, Team Strike. If you've never checked out that book, you can actually get a 12-page preview of it, all in this book. And you can either choose cover A by Carla Diaz, who's our Malia artist, or our friend Fish Lee did this awesome variant cover B, and you can put that in the add-on. So just real quick over the team. You've been listening to Roy tonight, and me and Sarah. And this is Jeff, who did the colors, who, like I told Roy, he outdid us all in the way he dressed for this picture.
Very professional, very sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's Hannah, who did the flats. We know her because of Fish Lee. There's Terry, and then there's Eddie. And then, so yeah, the rest of it's pretty standard. We're going to ship as soon as we get the funds, which is about 2 or 3 weeks after the Kickstarter. Please make sure to fill out your surveys, or else we can't get you your books. And we've been printing with Kablam since last year, just because their prices were a little bit better than what we've done in the past, and they are super fast at getting us our stuff. As far as risks and challenges, the book is literally 99% complete, only because we're just going to have our letterer finish up her work, and the book is done. So other than that,
real quick about the shipping. If you haven't done a Kickstarter before, what's really neat about these is the comics will come in these boxes you saw, like in that picture right there. They come in these secure boxes, so your books will arrive in safe condition. So if you're thinking about, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if you're thinking about getting these graded, it's really cool to get these in this kind of box, so the product you get is going to be in fantastic condition. We actually do look at the books for quality control and make sure everything's printed correctly, that it looks good. It's something that we would want in our collection. So, I just want to reassure people, if you haven't done a Kickstarter before, or if you're thinking about doing it, it's a really great platform to support projects like this and others, like Melee Mayhem, or Teen Strike, or our friend Dan, who does Bigfoot Knows Karate. There's a bunch of great projects on there, but it's a really neat way that it gave us this opportunity. So, I want to make sure that people know you will get quality books, clean, and they're in great condition. And I think, I'm not sure if we went over it in the survey, if we're going to, but I think we're going to offer the option to get these signed on some of these, Joe.
I can add that into the survey, yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. So if you want them signed, you can either, if you do it on Kickstarter and we deliver it to you, and you want to get them signed, this should be in the survey. If not, you can always see us at multiple conventions. We have a table there where we basically pitch our ideas and sell our books to those that maybe prefer to do it physically. They want to be there and meet us and all that. So we can sign anything you guys want. So that's an option too. Just want to throw that out there.
All right, so we're getting about to start our trivia game today. This is the swag you're competing for. And these are nice because these stickers are actually not in the Kickstarter, so they are special. All these ones on the outside are stickers all the way around the middle. And then the middle is a trading card, which is Ava's race battle suit. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, again, thanks to Jesse and his wife, Rafaela, for putting those stickers together. And
yes, thank you so much.
The Wraith Battlesuit card, again, is from Child's Play Comics 0, but I just feel like I have so many of those. I just keep using them for giveaways, but they're really cool. Speaking, that's Ava's original look for her armor, too. So,
yeah, can I play? Because I want one of those cards.
you should have one.
I know. But yeah, that's pretty cool, though. Yeah, this will be exclusive.
Use it already.
Yeah. I'm gonna just stop that share real quick. I need to it to me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Brian, your Teen Strike arrived. Cool. Hope you enjoyed that book. And yeah, glad you like her and her blue armor. It's a really cool look.
It just clicked. It worked.
You literally did click and it works.
Literally clicked. I was like, oh, there you go.
This real quick so I get this Kahoot going over here.
Yeah, we're gonna play a game of Kahoot. If you've never played Kahoot, it's super easy. You can whether you're looking at this on a computer or on your phone, if you just go to www.kahoot.it.
Yeah, I'll drop it.
Yeah, Sarah will put the link, but it might make you type it.
How many swag packs were given away tonight?
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, it's just
There's
three.
going to be 3, so the top 3 scores will
Awesome,
get a swag pack, and they're all identical. It's all the things that we just showed you are in the swag pack.
Cool. So answer some trivia, get some cool swag.
Mhm.
I dropped the link there, but let me see real quick. I need to share again.
Is this the one where you answer the quickest, you get more
Yeah.
points?
Yeah, you
Okay.
get more points for answering quickly if you're correct. If you're not correct, you don't get anything. So
Yeah, we actually hadn't done this one in a while, so we're like, it's time to bring it back.
Here we go.
Okay, you should be able to see my screen now.
And see it.
Got
Lisa,
Lisa,
Brian.
and Brian was playing with his avatar. So let's give I'll give you like another minute if anybody else wants to play. And
Oh, let go.
playing with her avatar too. There we go.
All right. Oh, here we go. They're coming in.
Now it's a game.
Yeah, now it's getting there now.
And this is gonna be just basic trivia. Nothing too difficult. We're not gonna ask you any math questions.
Yeah,
No,
it's all stuff it's all stuff from the book. So like it's things that we've all said tonight. We hope you were paying attention.
All right. I'm gonna wait till it gets to 9:42 just in case somebody else wants to sign in. And if I'll give you a warning so you can say, no, please stop. I'm trying to sign in or whatever in the chat box.
And then at the end of this, before we get off, we are going to launch the actual Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do that
That'll
while we're still on the call, and then we'll start wrapping up and people
All
can
right.
pledge.
It's 9:42. If you're trying to sign in and you're having an issue, please say, no, wait for me,
I
please.
think they would have already. If they're really...
Remember, I used to teach online.
Yeah.
All right,
I love the
ready?
pancakes on Jesse's head.
Ah, yes. All right. 3, 2, 1. Begin. Kahoot at home. How to hunt a hero. I'll be the announcer today. See if I can read fast enough. What was the old title for How to Hunt a Hero? How to Hunt an Average Joe, Average Joe and the Super Friends, Average Joe a Casual Hero, or Average Joe a Goofy Hero?
Groovy.
A Goofy Hero. I'm sorry. Roy's got Goofy in my head. That's what
I know. That was good, actually. That would have been a great good job.
Nobody got that one.
No, we had a lot of people not answer. Only one person answered. It is on a 10-second timer, y'all. Maybe I should have warned you.
Yeah.
Can't actually read the question. At least on my side, all I'm seeing is the colors. So I have to flip between the Zoom and the quiz to be able to even see what's going on.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I can't. I don't think there's really a way around that because the question is shared on the Zoom, but I'm also trying to read them out loud, so maybe that helps. I don't know.
Maybe say the color when you read it too. I don't know.
I could say the color, but I think Brian's saying that he can see the colors and the choices on the colors. It's the question itself that he can't see. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah.
No, he can only see the colors. Sorry, it's been a while since I Kahooted. Yeah, he can only see the colors. So I'll say the answer choices with the colors though.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Brian, you're in first place. Woohoo!
What does Ava collect? Red Pokemon cards, blue cryptids, yellow aliens, or green souls.
Oh wow, I got dark real quick.
Oh, yeah, that helped a lot. And the first one didn't hurt anything since nobody got points from it. So
Yeah.
there you go. Oh, 3 people got that one right. Let's see
Yeah,
how
good job.
here.
Nice.
First place.
Yeah. All right. And pretty close too. Who are Joe's 2 best friends? All right. We have red, Peter and Gary, blue, Mo and Larry, yellow, Roy and Jesse, or green, Pete and Jerry. Oh,
Oh.
man. Oh, okay. It's hard to remember everything.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. You're going to learn all about it in the book.
What was the first cryptid Ava captured? Red Loch Ness Monster, blue Bigfoot, yellow Yeti, or green Chupacabra? There was a picture.
Give you a hint. It's on the cover.
Yes, everybody answered that. Ooh, Brian's still leading there just by a little bit. So close. Ava's father owns what corporation? Red, the Greedy Corporation. Blue, the Stingy Corporation. Yellow, the Avarice Corporation. Or green, the Materialistic Corporation. Barely had to finish reading.
Yeah.
Answer. All right. We had one person get that one right. Let's see. Oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Behind.
Oh, that was a jump. Wow.
Why does Ava give Joe powers? Red, she hates him. Blue, she wants a puppet. Yellow, she loves him. Green, she wants a pet. Oh, there we go. Everybody remember that one.
Nice. I was paying attention.
Oh,
Oh,
Brian.
Oh,
Brian
look
came
at that.
up, but Lisa got
Look
the
at that.
fire.
Close.
Yeah.
I've actually had to split the screen so I can see both at the same time.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go. Another way to do it. What is Ava's suit called? Red, ghost battle suit. Blue, wraith battle suit. Yellow, spooky battle suit. Green, awesome battle suit.
Oh, I like Ghost Battle Suit. That's cool.
Whoa, we got one person. Let's see now who it was.
Oh,
Oh, Spade.
Spade.
Oh,
Come up.
Wow.
good job. Ace of Spades.
Which TV show inspired the use of the cryptids? Red, Once Upon a Time. Blue, Grimm. Yellow, Sleepy Hollow. Green, Charmed.
Nice.
All right. We got most
Actually,
of the
Grimm.
people got that one.
What have I done? I've ever watched it. Oh, good job. Back on top. Back on top.
Oh, wow.
Brian's back up.
Well, last question.
Is this the last one? I'm not paying close enough attention, apparently.
No,
Where's
no, we
the
still got
tracker?
2 more. We still got 2
Oh,
more.
okay. I'll
got
cover
two
it up by my little writing
Yeah.
symbol. Zoom, that's why. Okay. What is the name of Joe's love interest? Red, Sal. Blue, Gal. Yellow, Hal. Green, Val. Why do you make these rhyme, Joe? You're tripping me up here.
I didn't realize you were going to have me reading.
Yeah. Everybody got it right, despite
Good
my
job. Good job.
Well, Brian holds the lead.
Oh, and here's the last one for all the marbles.
And the last one, Masters of the Universe, right here.
Name of power Joe used in the preview pages. Red, Frozen Breath. Blue, Electric Shock. Yellow, Death Touch. I didn't even get to finish reading. There we go. Oh, and most of us got it right. That's the odd users. There comes the podium. In
Awesome.
third place, Spade. In second place, Lisa.
Woo!
First place,
Yes.
Brian.
Oh, Brian. Oh, wow. Yeah, good job. Awesome. Those are fun.
So let's
All right.
see, whose information do we need?
Yeah,
here?
Spades, I don't know who you are, so you're going to have to mess with it.
Could you send us a direct message on the Zoom, Spades, and just give us your name and address? And so we can send you your swag. Christy Esparza.
Oh, is that Christy from y'all's school?
From Teen Strike, yeah.
Oh,
I think
okay,
also,
cool.
yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. All right. So, Chris, I guess if.
Yeah, I'll get that from Jesse.
Okay, cool. And then we're in good shape for Brian and Lisa.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. Woohoo!
Yeah, Brian. Woohoo!
And let me go ahead back here, and then we're gonna launch the page, everybody. We're only slightly over time. Look, we tried to make it shorter, and then we went over time. The story of our life right here. This might trip out for a second. Let me drag my zoom before, so everybody doesn't have to look at infinite zoom for a minute there.
Infinite Zoom.
Yes, the trippy infinite. All right. And then we'll go over this one, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, you trying to take the button away from
No,
me?
you can do it. It's fine. You've never officially launched one. Go for it.
No, I know.
It's gonna give you another. I've learned this. It gives you another thing that basically says, "Are you sure?" So be ready for that.
Okay. Okay. 950. Here we go. Ready to
Yeah, you
launch.
click up there. You submit the details. Launch the project.
Enough of the details.
Drum roll.
Boom,
Woo!
boom, boom, boom.
And then I just want to put howtohuntahero.com in here.
Congratulations, your project is live.
That's awesome.
You have to do the www.
All right. Oh, it still didn't live link for me.
Yeah, it's okay. I think that's what happened last time too.
Oh, sorry,
People
sorry, y'all. You might have to type it in your browser, but it's howtohuntahero.com.
Yeah, www.howtohuntahero.com.
Yeah, so the project is live. This is exciting. This is our first project for me and Joe collaborating. Again, 25 years in the making. We appreciate all the support. And we hope you enjoy the book and that you just keep following our adventures. This is really, really cool just to see.
Yay, first pledge.
We get one.
Awesome. We got one. We got one.
Do we want to go see who the first one is so they can know who they
I
are?
bet you it's Brian.
I bet it is too. How do I go to the place that shows that?
Yeah,
I forget.
I'll look through it here in a second. Oh, Brian can just tell us if it's him.
No takers here.
Yeah, I don't want to show people's info. I forget what it shows. So.
Oh,
I
okay.
wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take. Yeah, it was me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we got a second
Thank you
one.
very much,
Oh my
Brian.
gosh,
Appreciate
we're
your
almost
support. Thank
halfway to
you.
the goal.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Brian, what size shirt you wear, if you don't mind me asking?
Double to triple X if you got it.
Let me see what I have. I may actually be wearing a double, so let me see. And an extra large.
Not anymore.
No.
We feel you. We feel you, Brian.
COVID didn't help.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Tell me about it. Okay. All right. I had a few extra shirts, but I think the largest I have is extra large on that one.
Fair enough.
We're gonna go ahead and end the Zoom, but thanks again, everyone, and yes, thanks for the opening pledges here, and yeah, we're gonna be doing this for the next 28 days and see how far we can take this. So.
Yeah, if y'all wouldn't mind, even if you don't order, if you just want to share this on your social media, on in one of your stories, on Instagram, on Facebook, just put the link. It really helps us out just to kind of get the word out. Share it with your friends, family. You might find somebody that is interested in the book that wants to read it. We appreciate everything, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, for being here, for playing along with the games. Joe and Sarah, thank you guys so much for all the hard work. Jesse, again, thank you very much for all the hard work, and to everyone that has contributed to the book. Thank you very, very much for making this a possibility. I'm very, very excited to see this, see where this goes, and yeah, we really hope you enjoy it.
Bye, Beckers.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
All right. Good night, y'all.
Thank you much. Good night, everyone. Be safe.
Be safe.
Bye, Brian.
Bye.
It will. Just do it in the meeting.